All right, friends, it's T-Man. We back with another video on the old man himself here. Accelerated aging. Jason Blaha, the strength and fitness. We should call him the accelerated aging channel. Man, this is how you accelerate aging. Jesus. The gym lifting, recruiting lifting slave himself, Jason Blaha. The accelerated aging fitness guru. So I'm gonna review this video, man. Jason Blaha says basic nutrition guidelines for better body composition. Okay. Yeah.
All right, I thought I would discuss with you guys and gals today just some basics about how to maximize body composition with your diet and just...
Damn, I thought it was how to accelerate aging. So how to better body composition. Yes, okay. He's going to explain. He's going to tell you how it is. All right.
Basic rules of thumb that people need to follow. Again, this is very evidence-based. This is also the way many people eat.
The way many people eat, evidence-based? Okay, whatever.
Who are even fitness models, competitive bodybuilders, everyone else. But a lot of recreational people who are fitness enthusiasts eat this way. So yeah, this is some general guidelines. So our diets do need to be carbohydrate based, but we need to understand that carbohydrates are where we're going to get most of our calories. It's not necessarily always the focus of a diet like this. So when it comes to macros, again, I'm going to
What is he mumbling about?
recommend people eat clean. And people say you can't define clean. I'm like, yeah, you can absolutely define.
Yeah, clean is eating a natural diet. Your natural diet, not engineered by man. All right? Natural diet out in nature, not engineered by man or processed by man.
Clean. Clean eating would generally be minimally processed foods. Doesn't mean no processed.
Then that would mean if you eat your natural diet, if you fry, barbecue, or bake your meat, your natural diet, then that's processed. See that? He says minimally processed. Oh, so minimally processed. Oh, he's still eating processed food though, right, Blaha?
That's silly. You're not going to have that unless that processing enhances the nutritional value. Okay, keep in mind.
How can processing increase the nutritional value of something? It means you've killed it. You've killed it. Well, they're adding something back to it sometimes, but it's dead. What are you talking about? This is really stupid, man. You think you can create something out of nature better than nature can? What the fuck's he talking about? It becomes worse.
Or improves it, and in some cases it does.
You can't improve meat more than it's already improved, other than allowing the animal to eat grass, than eating like fucking, what is it? I don't know, grain.
Do your research. I'm not going to be able to break that down food for you. Minimally processed, I would say the things you need to completely avoid if you really can.
He's really stupid. Minimally processed. Processed food means something has been done to it unnaturally, so it's unnatural. It's not based on your natural diet. What an idiot. Anything that has been done unnaturally to your diet, it's not natural anymore. Get it? It's fake.
About body composition. Refined sugars and any form of added fat to anything. Okay? You don't need to be adding fats of any type, even healthy fats. If you want healthy fats, eat whole foods that have them done. Don't add oils, don't add butter. Okay? These are things that are going to be problematic for people who are pursuing, again, maximize body composition.
Don't add butter, fats, whatever. Well, it's not the fat that makes you fat. It's the insulin resistance. Look, you can't load, fat doesn't load sugar in there. It doesn't load sugar. It doesn't convert sugar into fat. The sugar in the food, which is the carbohydrates, and then the fat that's in the food makes you fat. The sugar makes you insulin resistant, and the fat makes you fat. Get it? Yeah.
Before the low carb people chime in with butter or whatever,
Carbs, if they convert to glycogen in your muscle, I don't know what type of carbs you're eating. They convert to glycogen in your muscle, then they can load in the muscle. A lot of it can load in there. Yeah, it's an energy source. And then the other stuff loads in, it goes into the fat cells as triglyceride. Yes, makes you fat.
You guys don't maximize body composition. The studies are very conclusive. You gain muscle way, way, way slower than everybody else. Get over it. Done.
You gain way muscle slower than anybody else. When you reach those newbie gains, you ain't gaining any more muscle.
So your approach isn't even viable for this.
Other than artificial muscles, eating carbs, like what he wants you to do, eat carbs. Yeah.
And again, I'm not talking about people who cut down using it for contests. I'm talking about people who are trying to overall maximize body composition with their lifestyle year round. All right, added fats are out. Refined sugars are out. Okay.
If you're trying to do that, then you should eat as natural as possible. Seafood and meat. That's it. Meat and seafood, man. That's you get both worlds, seafood and meat. Because usually, if you're inland, it's just meat. If you're out by the water, it's usually seafood. Well, you could eat both.
These are the foods that impact your insulin sensitivity most negatively. They will impact your nutrient partitioning.
And that will be carbohydrates. They'll impact your insulin. It depends on the type of carbohydrate. That's why they classify it as complex carbohydrates and then carbohydrates. These simple carbs that break down into sugars. Now, when it comes to complex carbohydrates, it's slower acting, so it doesn't spike the insulin, but it still destroys you slowly over time. It increases insulin. If insulin is increased, it's anabolic, and you're aging because you're growing, you're aging.
Negatively, right? These are the foods in general that make us fat. Added fats, high fat foods, refined sugars.
Yeah, the refined sugar makes you insulin resistant, and anything else that converts to sugar, like your pizza, pasta, and your tofu, what he eats and whatever else there, and his coffee with sugar in it, whatever, and his Kool-Aid drink, that will increase insulin, and then the fat that's in there will make you fat.
In fact, you take those out of society in general, there would be almost no fat people anymore. They would cease to exist.
Yeah, if you would take all that out and they would eat their natural diet, then they would cease to exist. Yes, definitely, I would agree. Yes. All right.
Right? So, there's your first rules. All right, protein is always going to be something we have to look at. If you are trying to absolutely maximize body composition, you need to hit that amount that we know is the safe spot for intake with wiggle room in it for maximizing muscle growth. It's 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. For my Americans who only use freedom units, that's around 0.8 grams per pound.
No, man, what's he talking about? You mean protein turnover to restore the protein, you being in an adapted state lifting in the gym? How much protein do you need to restore protein, this degradation? You degrading protein working out in the gym. Basically what you're doing is you're a factory worker in the gym, okay, lifting weights, okay? So you're breaking down proteins and they're building up. They're doing that automatically anyways. You're just building them, you're breaking them down more than usual because you're working out in the gym, okay? So you go in there to break down proteins more, then they're building up. And then you go home and you eat and then you build them back up again, back to normal. That's what you're doing. You're just restoring them. That's why some people complain, you lose these contractile proteins, you'll feel weak. You'll feel weak if you don't eat enough protein. See what I mean? You'll feel weak. And I don't know, maybe you'll shrink a little bit. It's a possibility if you don't add them back. But mostly it's the glycogen that you want in there.
Body weight. If you want to go over that, it's not harmful, but that should be your target number. If you choose to go 50% over it or double it and your budget allows for it, hey, great. Just be aware that may only help you slightly on the body fat side. It will not help you with the muscle growth side. Again, we need to be clear on that. There's an upper threshold to that from
what muscle size? The protein, you can eat all you want. If there's nothing damaged there, if there's no fucking injuries to the muscle fibers, there's nothing to grow. So what's the point? And you got to be in an anabolic growth state. You got to be, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown when it comes to muscles that have been damaged. Not adding fucking glycogen because you're a fucking endurance athlete here like him. He's an endurance athlete in lifting in this garage.
We've seen even for advanced bodybuilders and strength athletes. That's where that literature comes from. Those numbers. So again, don't tell me I train harder than others. No, you don't. You don't train as a full-time job. Therefore, you are not trained.
See? Training, lifting boxes is a full-time job in the garage. Lifting these weights back and forth is a full-time job. Get it, bro? He's not really building any muscle. He's not focused on truly building his natural strength. He never took the time out, not even a year, to try to damage, repair, and remodel his muscles. He didn't even focus on that. At least 1 year out of your like 30 stupid years of lifting, slave, in the gym, bro. I mean, in the garage, bro, you fucking idiot. What a waste of time. This is stupid shit.
Training harder than people in some of those studies.
Can you imagine lifting, just lifting for the sake of lifting, but never building any muscle? Zero adaptations, man. No adaptations. What the fuck? What is the point of going to the gym? What was the point of going there? Even if you took 6 months at least out of your 30 years and you decided to do muscle damage training, at least you would have gotten better by now. But I mean, shit, man, you're just fucking nothing. You're just a waste of time here. Focused on lifting this stupid weight and I don't know what, loading glycogen in your muscle because fatigue training and all that. What he keeps telling you, stupid shit, high volume. All these stupid things that he does. Here's the thing. He's a power lifter, so he does 5x5. He promotes 5x5. That's not enough to cause muscle damage, and he's adapted. So there's no muscle damage. He's adapted. He's lifting. He just basically was aging himself, lifting a heavy weight, doing a 5x5. There's not enough stimulus there to cause any regeneration in muscle. You understand me? There's not enough stimulus, and it can't happen often. It happens periodically. Let's just put it that way, periodically. Or unaccustomed or untrained or unfamiliar forms, get that. It doesn't happen in adapted people.
Right? You probably do other stuff. You have a life outside of lifting. I'm going to say the answer is you do not. All right, so that's your number. So if you're like me, because again, I probably weigh more than most of you, I'm 100 kilograms, 220.
What? He weighs more than everybody out there. Man, this guy's so exaggerated. He's nuts. He's so man, I don't know what's the matter with this guy. He's nuts.
Right now. That's 150 grams right? 150 grams. There's your target number. All right, dietary fat, and people aren't going to.
150 grams for what? To replace that which you lost in the gym working out as a slave? What are you talking about? Coming back from the factory? How much protein do factory workers need when they come home from the factory lifting boxes all day and working? How much protein do they need? I don't know. They eat a lot because they're really hungry. You know that? They're usually replacing what they lost in the job. They're adapted to their movements. They're adapted to their job. There's no more adaptations. Get it? What are they doing? They're breaking proteins down and rebuilding them. That has nothing to do with muscle damage and trying to build myofibrillar growth to get bigger and stronger through myofibrillar growth. But if you want to get bigger, blow up through the mass, yeah, just add more energy. Eat carbs, dude.
Like this. If your goal is to stay very lean, I would cap fat at 10% of your total calories. Okay? And the fat that you eat, for that to even work, needs to be mostly healthy fats, polyunsaturated fats. It's omega-3, omega-6. Ideally, I would like to see you get them from...
You should stick with omega-3s the most. Forget about this omega-6 stuff, man. Just focus on omega-3. Eat fish, dude.
Whole foods. What do we mean by whole foods?
Whole foods. Just eat fucking natural foods. Get it? Especially wild seafood.
Nuts.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the forest and we're gonna eat nuts and seeds. What the fuck, man? That's what slaves do when they're starving.
I like tofu.
Again, slave diet, tofu, nuts. What an imbecile. What carnivore do you need is gonna go eat fucking nuts and seeds and tofu, dude? Hello.
All right, fatty fish.
Okay, now we're talking. Fatty fish, yes, not farmed.
I mean, if you really want your powerhouse, where would be some of our really viable ones? Would be salmon, walnuts. That would be pretty dang good.
Salmon is good. No walnuts, no tofu. That is unnatural food, bro. Hello. What the hell is he talking about?
Tofu still works in that also.
Man, walnuts are toxic, and all the rest of this shit's garbage. Tofu, too.
It's mostly polyunsaturated with a great amount of omega-3. All right, your fats.
No human can make food better than nature, okay?
Make sure that your fat sources are probably close to half of the calories, fat calories in any fat source you eat comes from polyunsaturated fat. Keep saturated fat low. Okay? Everything else you need needs to be carbohydrates. Right? Because you're going to need.
Everything else you need is carbohydrates. What's carbohydrates? Sugar. This guy's crazy. You'll accelerate aging and get old. Everything else is carbohydrates. It's a known fact, bro. Look it up.
To track calories. If you care about body composition, you're probably going to have to track calories. Everything else needs to be carbohydrate. It will help build the
See, everything else needs to be carbohydrate. Why? Because it builds muscle. That's what he says.
most muscle. It'll give you the best performance.
See?
Everything else needs to be carbohydrate. It will help build the most muscle. It'll give you the best performance. It'll keep satiety nice and high, as long as they're mostly whole food.
See, most of your here. This is where it lies. He's tricked you in the middle of this video. The dumb people are probably listening to him, going, "Oh yeah, I gotta eat carbohydrates. That will build the most muscle. Carbohydrates build muscles. Sugar builds muscles. See, carbohydrates build the most muscle, and they'll give you the most performance because that's what they do. You understand me? Now I thought protein builds muscles, right? No, protein doesn't build muscles. Not if you're adapted. You know what kind of muscles you're going to build with carbohydrates? Sarcoplasmic muscles. You could look it up on Google. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is a type of artificial muscle growth where you're drawing water into the muscle by carbohydrate. You're loading carbohydrates into the muscle. Get it? For no other reason, just for show and tell. Get it? That will improve your performance because it's based on contractions. You can't contract your muscles if they were to be depleted of this glycogen. They help with the contraction. You understand me? Performance. In other words, performance and contraction go together with glycogen. That is the mass of the myofibrillar. Now, to build more myofibrillars, that's based on muscle damage. So this guy, what he's doing, adapted. What kind of muscles do you grow? Sarcoplasmic muscles. And how do they grow? Carbohydrates, like he just said. You want to build carbohydrate muscles? Listen to what he says.
Carbohydrates. White rice is definitely needs to be carbohydrate. It will help. Okay? Everything else you need needs to be carbohydrates. Right? Because you're going to need to track calories. If you care about body composition, you're probably going to have to track calories. Everything else needs to be carbohydrate. It will help build the most muscle. It'll give you the best performance. It'll keep satiety nice and high.
See, you're building carbohydrate muscles. Get it? Glycogen loading. Fake muscles.
As long as they're mostly whole food carbohydrates, white rice is definitely reasonable here.
Right, white rice is filled with arsenic. That is going to cause DNA damage over time. It's going to cause damage to your DNA over time. It corrupts it over time. And then it'll catch up with you. And then one day you'll wake up and say, what's wrong with me? How did I get cancer and this and that, whatever? Because you're eating these unnatural foods with toxins and poisons in them. Plants are filled with toxins and poisons. They cause cancer in you. They cause disease, metabolic diseases, every skin disease, every problem that you've had is through eating these plant foods. Get it, dude? Yeah, it's really simple. That's why you're going to see a dentist.
Other than that, though, probably mostly tubers, fruits, whole grains.
Tubers, fruits, and whole grains. That's slave food, bro. That's what we serve to. That's what we fucking warriors. We serve that to the slaves. The slaves eat that food.
Right? This is how you
And this is what slaves look like after they eat the food. They look like Blaha. Get it?
should be eating. Your diet should be rich.
Us warriors, we look like beasts, genetic beasts. If you want to look like a genetic beast, look at my younger picture when I showed myself in one of my videos. I put them down there. It's way down there somewhere. That's what I looked like when I was younger. A beast. Get it? I ate a shitload of protein. I repaired and remodeled and ate protein back then. I look like a beast. This guy, what does he look like? A slave, get it? So if you want to look like a slave, just do what he said. You look like better slave than the last time.
Fruits and vegetables. Okay. As far as the protein goes, I don't care where you
Fruits and vegetables, yeah. They don't make you strong, bro. Meat makes you strong.
get your protein for that. Look, certain protein powders, whey and stuff, are probably better gram for gram. I think there's
Again, all these protein powders are filled with maltodextrin, sugar, and all that. Again, more fake muscles, more slave food, energy food to keep you working, to perform. Get it? The reason why they serve you this slave food is so you can perform. Keep performing. Be a nice performer. Yes.
Good data on that. But as long as you're eating decent protein sources, I don't care. Even soy and
See, caffeine is a stimulant, right? What are amino acids? What do they do? What exactly? They're not stimulants. You understand me? Now, a lot of your food is packed with stimulants, but which is what is here? What is sugar exactly? What is sugar? What is caffeine? What is it? What is it? It's a stimulant. That's what you're eating. You're drinking and eating a stimulant. You understand me? Why do you think they sell these Red Bull drinks everywhere? Fuck. It's just a stimulant. It's nothing. It's to make you slaves work.
Food actually has a great bioavailability, but lean animal products are good, and then dairy does tend to be a little bit superior on a gram for gram basis. But when we start
something that is a stimulant is a drug. How it exudes its drug effects are all different. Marijuana, caffeine, sugar, cocaine, opium, and all this. Some are legal and some are illegal. Get it? What's alcohol? A stimulant. Is it going to make you work harder? No, they know it doesn't make you work harder, but they know it'll make you sleep better at night. And when you go home and drink, you'll pass out. And then when you wake up in the morning, you'll get coffee. You'll get your caffeine stimulant, and they'll give you a bunch of sugar in there, more stimulant. And then you'll go to work, and then you'll eat carbohydrates, which are full of sugar, more stimulants, and keep working you until you're all dried up and chewed up. And by the time you reach 40, you may die at 60. You may not even make it past 60. Get it? I know so many people dying young. They die young, bro. They don't even make it past 60.
Eating quantities like that, like 150 grams or more, protein quality starts to have
I say Blaha doesn't make it to 51. But if he's lucky, maybe he'd make it to 60 and he'll be dead at 60. Doing this shit.
Very little impact at all. It starts to matter so little because we're getting so much of it at that point. So again, do what you want. Again, just make sure that you're going to have to watch the fat in your protein sources. But look, if you want to get a sizable chunk of your fat from beans and tofu, perfectly reasonable.
Get your fats from tofu and beans, slave food. Yeah, that's all I want, man. Listen, man, if you had a choice, and I said, here, man, I have a bunch of beautiful steaks over here, like T-bone steaks and filet mignon, filet medallions and all that, and some, whatever. And over here on this side, I have beans and tofu and some fucking crap shit, whatever, fucking... Which one would you take? The steaks or take the fucking tofu slave diet?
If you want to fill it with more animal source, perfectly reasonable. Just watch.
And I'll guarantee you, every kid... If I was to show that tofu, beans, and all that ugly food, and I had a bunch of beautiful meat steaks and everything on the left side, I can guarantee you the kids and even the adults, all of them, would go after the steaks. They wouldn't go for the beans and the fucking tofu or anything. Want to know why? Because we're carnivores. That's how you demonstrate.
The saturated fat.
Because if it was so good, if it's so good for you, everybody would be running to it. Nobody's running there. Anytime there's meat, anywhere I go to, any buffet or anything, people eat meat. They eat shitloads of meat. But the crazy people, they put some vegetables in or whatever. But usually they still eat meat. They want to eat meat. You understand me? Yeah. It's just like that.
Watch the saturated fat on the end of that. All right, and these sort of guidelines will do this. So this is the way that people should generally eat if they are trying to maximize muscle mass and minimize body.
Africans eat a lot of meat. That's why they're fucking massive and with big cocks. Big balls, big cocks, and big strong bodies. Because they're still eating meat in Africa. They know. That's a country where they grow bananas and fruits and everything. They grow out there in the fields, a bunch of garbage. But they know. They're not stupid. They know not to eat those things. If you watch this guy Yves, the French guy on the bicycle, he's traveling through Uganda, Rwanda, through fucking Africa. He stops on the side of the road. It's all barbecued meat. There isn't anybody giving you fucking fruits or vegetables. You see them carry it, but it's probably for export. They serve it to the people in the north because they're crazy. They eat bananas all day here. Then they go fucking bananas, and they feed that shit to animals, and then they eat the animals. They feed them bananas and shit, and then they feed them to the people up north.
I'm not saying other approaches can't work for some of those, but if you're trying to do both concurrently, if we look at the larger body of the evidence, this will generally push you in that direction. I'm not saying protein overfeeding can't do the same thing.
Protein overfeeding? Why would you overfeed protein? It'll age you, man. If you're not building any muscle, what's the fucking point of eating all that protein? This is stupid if you're adapted. Unless you're doing muscle damage training, that's the only time you want to eat that shit.
But you don't always feel good protein overfeeding, for one. Number two, it is prohibitively expensive for most people. Again,
what? Protein is not good for you? Okay, it's too much, not good for you. Then it's too expensive for you people. You can't eat meat, so you got to eat a slave diet because it's expensive for you. Okay. Oh, yes, Blaha.
Eating 400 grams of protein a day in this current economy, probably outside of...
So eating 400 grams of your natural diet in this economy, it's bad for you. It's got to eat a slave diet like Blaha. Look like shit. Jack shit.
Many people's food budget.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. You're not gonna recomp your fucking body eating fucking slave food, dude. It's just gonna make it look like shit. I tried the fruit diet, okay? I tried it. It was COVID. I tried to see what these things would do. They diminished me. They made me look ugly and bad, okay? Now I'm back on my natural diet. Meat and seafood. That's it, bro. Get it? And water. Now, I'm not saying I don't cheat with some chocolate here and there. I shouldn't do that even at all. I'm trying to wing off it completely. But I have been cheating here and there, you know, which I shouldn't be doing. But I'm just saying, and I know it's a bad thing to do that. But I'm human too, get it? I've been like you, a slave. I'm a slave, get it? Used to the slave diet. Just have to wing off of it completely. It's a stimulant, sugar, definitely. Chocolate is a stimulant. Chocolate tastes like shit. It's toxic. It's poison. It tastes like crap, but they put sugar in it to make it taste better, some milk, whatever. It's full of sugar, man. It's a stimulant, and I know that. That's what it is, and it's addictive.
Okay.
You'll look like him, like shit, if you eat those things. Now I'm on my carnivore diet. My body's restored itself. It looks better. I look better. My body looks better. Everything looks better.
In other words, when that's come up, people are like, well, let me give you a context. My coaching alone per month costs less than protein overfeeding does. Okay, so just so that we're clear on that. Unless you are finding just the cheapest...
Is coaching? Whatever.
Most junk sources of protein you can probably source. Like the cheapest on sale chicken breast, maybe the cheapest, not highest quality way you can find, is probably the only way most people are going to do that on any sort of tight budget. Because before long, you're spending just for yourself $700, $800, $1,000 a month on food just to protein overfeed. So the other option is actually...
You don't need to protein overfeed if you're adapted. If you're an athlete like him, an athlete, he's not even an athlete. If you're how should I put it, an endurance athlete like him, doing endurance exercising in the gym, endurance, like a factory worker, this is endurance. The carbs, you can eat that, but it's artificial. You shouldn't even eat that. Just eat some meat and you can restore these proteins and your body will make ketones, okay? You'll be normal. You'll be a normal human being. Stop that. Stop doing that. Stop that. Yeah, man, get it? Yeah, you don't need it unless, of course, you're damaging muscles. Then you need to be in an anabolic growth state. Protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown. That's it.
Probably more viable for most people, and very possibly more viable for longevity overall. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
It's been very uninformative. It'll destroy you doing what he said. Follow him and you'll have a body like him, that daddy bod, whatever, man. This is ridiculous. He wants to destroy all of you like he's destroyed himself on slave diet because he's a slave. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends. So think about that. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.